Hey, what's up you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Quick Draw, it's all about getting the best bang when we take a look at the Vasto Prime. Okay, so if you all watched my fanboying video, you may have gotten a taste of my disdain for weapons like the Vasto's Prime variant. While undoubtedly it's an upgrade for the Vasto, it isn't necessarily going to reach its peak potential until they release the primed akimbo version. Because honestly, who wants to play with something that's only at half mass? So while comparing this to the original would be easy, the real question here is, which has more bang, the Vasto Prime or the Akvasto? So you can pick up the Vasto Prime somewhere in the void. Where, you ask? Well, the links are down in the description box below, simply because loot tables change and it's the easiest way to make sure that the info is up to date. However, if you'd rather not deal with all of that hullabaloo, it's also available pre-built along with the catalyst and weapon slot in the Nova Prime Access bundle at Null Star rank. But only while it lasts. Now, the Vasto Prime's main damage type is slashing. In fact, it's traded some of its puncture and impact for even more slashing, which works well against fleshy targets. However, armored targets will be an issue for it to deal with. So as always, make sure you slot in the appropriate elemental combos in order to deal the optimal amount of damage. So, the majority of the Vasto Prime's upgrades focused on bumping up its damage. It's got a 5% boost to its base damage, a little bump in its fire rate, a 10% boost to its status chance, and an increase in its critical multiplier. Now, frankly, I'm not a fan of the changes to its damage spread simply due to the fact that slashing doesn't hold up too well against late game armored units, so trading puncture for even more slash may not have been in the weapon's best interest. Unless of course you're running a 4-stack of corrosive projection, but in that case I'm pretty sure you brought a better secondary to deal with what you have to deal with. However, one of the things that I do quite like is the increase to its critical multiplier, as the Vasto Prime has a decent base critical chance. Now, don't misquote that as this is a critical weapon, because it's not, but for a secondary, 15% is definitely respectable. Now, let's take a look at how it holds up versus the non-primed Akvasto. Keep in mind, all of these calculations are on base damage, not including critical spikes and damage spread, etc, etc. The Vasto Prime's burst potential comes to 324 points of damage per second, as opposed to the Akvasto's 500 points of damage per second. And while it's easy to say, boo, the Vasto Prime sucks, give us the Akvasto Prime already, the fact is we do need to give credit where credit is due. In a sustained firefight, the Vasto Prime actually outplays the twins, dealing 171.4 sustained damage per second, while the Akvasto slides down to 166.6 when mag size and reload are all taken into account. So when it comes down to it, if you want to unload fast, then the Akvasto is the best choice. However, if you want something that hits the spot a little harder and can hang in there during longer sessions, then the Vasto Prime is what you want in hand. Now, speaking of 2 versus 1, can we talk? Okay, so I get a lot of flack about making sexy time jokes about weapons, but come on, if this isn't the perfect example, I don't know what is. Straight or gay threesomes can be a bit of a handful, and honestly, for the long haul you're better off with just one. While twins can empty your clip pretty quickly, it's gonna take a while to get both of them reloaded. And juggling the 2 of them does lower the accuracy. I mean, come on, swapping positions in a 3-way can turn into one hot mess. So getting it in at the right spot at the right time can be a bit of a hassle. As for the Vasto Prime, it can sustain what it puts out, and while it may take you a little longer to get there, that crit multiplier, that crit multiplier, when it hits that sweet spot, it really hits that motherfucking sweet spot. Plus it saves you on towels, you only gotta wipe down 1 after you're finished, and that's always a good thing. Moving along, let's get back to the quick draw. So all in all, while I am waiting for the akimbo version to release, the Vasto Prime does hold its own in certain situations. Without question, it's an improvement over its non-prime counterpart and does come with an additional V polarity, making it a little less painful to go without Forma if you're holding out for the possibility of a set. As for its feasibility in comparison with other non-primed weapons though, it does fall somewhere slightly above average, but still doesn't hold a candle to weapons with high burst and high sustain like the Cyanoid Gammacore, Brack, and the Merlocks. So at the end of the day, it's just another Prime to spank and bank. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Quick Draw. Be sure to check out my previous videos on the Soma Prime, as well as my latest snapshot on builds for Nova Prime. Now don't forget to do the thing that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more towel saving tips here at A Gay Guy Plays. I swear you spend all your time trying to kill the big guys just to turn around and find out that the drones have made a big fucking rat king.